Hey guys, my name's Brandon from Brandon Goes Traveling, and welcome to my channel. My job is to help you get out there, explore, see the world, and really answer any questions that you might have about, your next adventures, wherever that may be. And in this video, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite places to visit, and that is Edinburgh, Scotland. So before I jump in, let's talk about how you actually get from the airport in Edinburgh to the heart and the city center of Edinburgh. And it's actually really easy. You have a few options. You can take a tram, which costs starting at about £4.50 for one way, £7 return. You could also do a bus, which again is incredibly cheap. It's only about £2 from the center to the airport, as well as you could take a more expensive area and maybe I recommend this if you have a lot of luggage, so such as either an Uber or a taxi. But there are cheaper ways to get from the airport to the center and vice versa. So let's dive in. First place I want to talk about is the one and only Edinburgh Castle. And if you've never been, you gotta go because it is absolutely one of the most stunning and scenic castles throughout Scotland. And it really does, it sets that vibe for really just medieval Scotland. And it just gives you that picturesque kind of scenic, uh, you know, viewpoints that you could really get out of all of Scotland. So this is taken right out front of the castle. And what I like about this viewpoint is if you walk to the left or walk to the right, you really are able to get a full view of all of Edinburgh. So you could walk to the left, you could get a photo of Arthur's Seat. You walk to the right, you could get a photo of the city center itself. So this photo right here is taken from outside of the castle, clearly, but more on the main city center road there. So looking up into the castle's direction, and you really can't miss it. I mean, once you're in Edinburgh and you're walking around, this sticks out like a sore thumb. I mean, it's right there. It's the main focal point of Edinburgh, and it's really it's one of those spots that your eye just gravitates to because it's just such a massive, massive thing. So next stop, I think you should see if you go to Scotland or Edinburgh, it's definitely Arthur's Seat. And this photo was taken at about 8 o'clock in the morning in the middle and heart of winter. So sun was just rising up over Arthur's Seat. And one thing I will recommend is, whether you get this photo or you get a photo of somewhere else during one of the sunrises, make sure you're out and about or first thing in the morning because one thing Edinburgh provides is some absolutely beautiful sunrises and even sunsets. But I think sunrises in this case are a little bit better over here. But one of the cool things you could do is you could actually climb up Arthur's Seat. And from where this picture was taken, this was taken just outside of the city center, so probably about a 3-minute walk outside. So when I say just outside, I mean really just on the outskirts. And from this location to the tippity top of Arthur's Seat, if you're, an average walker, probably about an hour and 15, hour 20 walk from this location up to the top. So I think some people, when they see the seat or see the hill, they get kind of scared. They might say, "Oh, it's too high. I can't do that." It is a walk, and there are challenging parts. I won't lie to you. However, I think if you go to Edinburgh, you gotta walk up there because you're gonna get some really nice views of the city as well. And also, it's interesting actually walking up there because you kind of lose sight that you're in the capital of Scotland because you suddenly go from being in a city to boom, you feel like you're in the outdoors. So I do, and I can't recommend it enough. This photo is taken from the top of Arthur's Seat. I know it's kind of blurry, so I do apologize for that. But yeah, so this was taken, like I said, right up on Arthur's Seat and just offers some of the views that you could get. As well as this photo right here was taken obviously at night. So this was taken at about 6 o'clock at night or so. So sun was just starting to go down. But yeah, as you can see, you really do get a overview of all of Edinburgh there. So one thing to point out, if you are in Scotland or near Edinburgh during the winter time, I do highly recommend going to the Christmas market. It's definitely one of the most picturesque Christmas markets that I've been to. This picture really does kind of show it all. Really is what the market looks like. And one thing I really do like about this photo is, it doesn't just show the Christmas market, it also shows what the Scots Monument looks like. at nighttime. And this photo was taken right across from the river. So just walked over the bridge right next to Waverley Station, the main train station in Edinburgh. Walked up a little hill, and got a photo of all of Edinburgh from that side. And just another thing to point out as well is if you continued walking on this road, there's a road right here, and kept walking to the left, you'd actually reach where the castle is. So you'd reach that photo that I was talking about earlier, where I took it from the ground level, and you could kind of have a full view of the castle. That's where I took that photo from. If you wanted to walk to the castle, it's a little bit more confusing, but again, it's only about a 10-15 minute walk from this area, and this is kind of the center of Edinburgh. This is the heart of the town, if you will. So if you are staying the night in Edinburgh, I do recommend walking about, especially getting those night photos. The way the street lights and the way the moon kind of lights up the roads around there, it really does give it that gothic feel. And it is, you do really get some nice photos around there. So I do recommend going for a walk, especially around Victoria Street and in the main parts of Edinburgh, because you do get some nice photos and some great opportunities. One thing also I'd like to call out too is, you could always do some tours in Edinburgh at night. So they have a few walking tours going on that you could do. Now they're free, but they're never really free. Usually I recommend giving like about a £10 tip after the tour. That's kind of what's expected a little bit. Obviously, if they don't do a good job, which I've never been on one where they haven't done a good job, but if they don't do a good job, then you maybe give them a little bit less. If they do great, maybe give them a little bit more. Really just up to you. There's also a ghost bus tour that you could take, and that's what that black bus is there. It's a ghost bus tour that you could take while you're there in Edinburgh. And you can't talk about Edinburgh without talking about getting some haggis there. And this is haggis taken at two different places. The photo on the left, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was much better than the photo on the right. The photo on the right was still good, but it was. I mean, I can't describe to you how good it was actually on the left hand side there. So both these were taken in Edinburgh, two different restaurants, but still equally as I mean still good. But I did enjoy the one on the left a little bit more. Also presentation wise, I think it was also just a little bit better. But that's just my opinion. If you've had the haggis on the right and you like that more, then so be it. But yeah, definitely recommend getting some haggis while you're there. And last but not least, you can't go to Scotland without talking about the whiskey. And man, let me tell you, if you go to Scotland or you go to Edinburgh, you have an opportunity to try some of the best scotch in the world from all of various different distilleries. This was just taken on one of the tours that I did in Edinburgh, so I had an opportunity to try a few different whiskeys that were there. But I do highly recommend either going on a tour or stopping at a pub and just getting that local advice, saying, "Hey, what's your favorite scotch that I could try?" That kind of stuff. And the waiters there are always more than happy to say, "Hey, try this one," and you might get something that's kind of out of the blue, or you might get offered something you've already had before. So um, just keep an open mind with it, really. So, I'll end this with saying that, Edinburgh is not the largest city in the world. I think personally you only need 2 days there and then try to branch out somewhere else, maybe like Stirling, which I'll have a video on Stirling in a few days or so. And Stirling is about 45 minutes from Edinburgh, and it's a good day trip. It's only, I think, about £10 return either on the train or on the bus, so they're about the same. And I do recommend going there as well. But like I said, 2 days is probably all you need in Edinburgh. If you're going to be there more, look to branch out or also look to do one of the tours that are from Edinburgh. So you can get tours up to the Highlands, up to some of the locks, and they're only about £50. I'd say if you're paying anything more than 60, you're probably overpaying. But yeah, you could get nice day tours, and I've done them a few times, and I can't recommend them enough as well. So yeah, that'll do it. I obviously didn't cover everything in Edinburgh, but I think I covered some of the main bits. So with that said, feel free to drop below what's your favorite part of Edinburgh. Let me know. I'm always going up there, and if I haven't seen something, I'd like to check it out. But yeah, feel free to drop it below, and if you have any questions, yeah, let me know, and I'll get back to you.